Warning, warning. Two idiots are reading the SCP files over the intercom. Please take cover and await further instructions.
Hello, and welcome back to Discovering SCP. We are back. How are you doing, Daniel? It's going to be a bit of a shorter episode this time, as I think we said, but...
Yeah, we're going to do our best. I'm actually destroyed. You see,
dying.
First, Good Trouble tragically cancelled on me, which destroyed my heart.
Unavoidable circumstances.
Then I had to do Aetheral Space, and then Alan Wake, and then King Game, which destroyed my voice. And then I had to... I didn't get much sleep, which destroyed my mind. So
what's left?
Anyway, the point of my bitching is that I'm a husk, so be really nice to me today, and Tan might have to carry the readings a bit.
No worries.
But I have gone through hell and back.
I'll be always there to carry you when you fall, my friend.
Thank you, Samwise. I went through hell and back to get someone to cover at work for just long enough for us to crank out a short episode. I want to continue with this series. What I'm thinking we should do, Tan.
Okay.
Is we should try and knock... Because there's a couple more tales left,
two
right?
left, yeah.
Let's knock out one, right?
Okay.
And then if we need to, we can filler with a shorter, joke one.
And
then for part 3, I would love to see if we can't get Kinch on it.
That would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic. I'll ask them too, but after this episode. I wanted to ask them today, but since we literally have the tiniest amount of time possible, I was I don't want to work this out at the last minute with time zone bullshit and whatnot. We'll figure it out next week. Anyway, news. What's new in your life?
In my life, nothing much. I was talking to you earlier on my exercise cycle at the moment. Not in the sense that I'm riding a bike as I record, but that's I'm making more of an effort in exercise-wise.
I'm so happy for you.
Positive for mood as well.
Exactly. I've been trying to walk more too. It's been helping. It's great. I'm really happy for you. Although I did think you were going to say at first that you were talking to your ex, and I was like, what? Tanhoney lore? But you said talking to me about exercise.
Imagine if I just mentioned that in my SCP podcast. Yeah,
just casually mention you have an ex. And that you guys are on relatively
and for some
good
reason
terms.
I've chosen this moment to tell everyone that they've got in contact with me.
Yeah, my ex... it's actually my ex-wife. That would be the biggest
She's
reveal.
been asking you about custody regarding the kids.
Yeah, my daughter just keeps whining. Oh, Dad, I want to see you. Shut up, bitch. I'm recording SCP.
I would never call my dear daughter.
You have a daughter?
No.
Oh. You kind of have
Not
a daughter.
anymore.
If you think about it...
She had to become the foundation for this country.
Jesus Christ. By the way, that reminds me, in Good Trouble, Vasily brought up the true continent.
Yeah, I don't know what you meant by that.
So there's now a Mexican standoff with you and him as a DM and player where it's either...
I feel like I know what he meant out of character, but I think he was referencing Lemuria, but it made no fucking sense in character.
Oh, never mind. That actually adds up with the lore. Okay,
what I 1800, a few decades ago.
I thought you guys were in a Mexican standoff where either Vasily is an insane person or you had to invent an 8th continent of the world. It's along with Lee in the 1850s, Australia split in two, creating Australia and, I don't know, what's another name for a continent?
Shadremarin.
Shadremarin. Yeah, fuck Lemuria. Where is Lemuria on the map?
I don't know.
Alright, Anomalous, by the way, please edit out my coughing fits so we don't scare pop.
Please base boost them instead, Anomalous.
No, don't
With
do
the
that.
order you follow now will show who you are truly loyal to.
Anomalous is my friend.
No, my child will base boost.
Anyway, we shouldn't waste too much time. Why don't you hit me with
Here we are.
The next one.
Part 3, Keith Dust Crusaders by Kinch the
Keith Dust. That's good. I need you to continue the Joe voice, but as pronounced as possible, by the way.
Sure thing.
No problem.
I'm trying to figure out who is saying this first line here, to be honest.
I think it is JJ.
And he's dead? The dude was dead as hell, that was for sure. JJ had seen people die in front of him before. It wasn't as hard as he thought it would be to get used to. Or maybe it was best for him that he got used to things as quickly as possible. Waltzing, traipsing through life, a lucky little ballerina. Shoes as pink as a rose, but the special shoes. Poncetias. God, he could have seen himself now. You hadn't even had time to use his stand.
So JJ does have a stand? Because I think he mentioned
maybe
we haven't seen
the
it yet, right?
dead guy had a stand, I imagine. He hadn't had time to use it.
Damn.
Maybe. JJ bent down, picking up a screwdriver that had fallen from the dead man's coat. He tested it in his hands. A nice heft. Warm, still.
No, this feels like the intro to an Anubis situation where the screwdriver's like an independent
now I've
stand.
memorized that.
I've always wanted to be a handyman.
What's this electrical outlet? I better touch it.
Oh, what is that?
Why not get a knife? Weird. But it fell out of his hands where it had fallen, and now JJ's decided it was his. Useful little tool. But the body. Esther was still in the bathroom. He was pretty sure she was, at least. He hadn't seen her with clothes yet, so she could still be on her hands and knees trying to find her contact right under his nose. Probably not, though. It probably felt weird to be naked in the same hotel room as a guy who just died. He wrinkled his nose. That was stupid. Like something Jude would say. So much time with him. Some of the things he said were contagious. The ways he had of putting things. They got into his head. But the body. Yeah, dude, he hit his head bad. He's dead as hell. Did you get me the Diet Coke? Said JJ.
I love JJ.
I don't think people will know the Twitter context, though. For context,
no, there's no context needed. Just keep it up, full power.
Those who know the context know the context. So why we are laughing suddenly at the Scruffy Doo voice.
Go follow Kinch the Knife Blade on Twitter, and then you can know the context.
Jude handed him the bottle. JJ had seen it, of course, but he'd like to ask him. Jude has a way of forgetting about something even when it was in his hands. Probably because he was a dumbass. Probably because he'd just bought weed behind the hotel room and pretended like he was getting a snack. He had no reason to lie, but he did. That was just the way people were. And the longer JJ lived among people, the better JJ got at recognising that the little details that pop out always mean something. Like noticing Jude hadn't brought back anything for himself, or the smell of weed in the room, or the weed in the new pipe that bulged from his pockets. Either that, or he was seriously packing and had managed to keep a grip on himself around JJ, as if. But the body. He's dead, said Jude. Like JJ didn't know. Like the massive head wound and the not breathing wasn't a fucking big enough hint. Doobie Hauser, MD.
Wait, he's not breathing? Hormone users need their lungs.
He smiled, beside himself. Jude had bent down, pressing the inside of his palm against the dead man's neck. Was it a movie he'd seen in a movie? No one? Definitely seemed like one of the stand users. He was saying a lot of shit before he tripped and died. Lots of talking. Yeah, the performer. Shitty name. Terrifying stand, though. Achy breaky hearts.
I like
Good
that.
thing you guys got him down before he could get you under a spell. He'd have all died. He's got like a final boss level stand, if you ask me. Jude stood up, cracking his back and his neck back into place, like an old man. What to do then? Being around him makes all your bodily functions voluntary instead of involuntary. It gets smaller and smaller. Even if you can figure out how to get your heart beating, it's real hard to figure out how to do cellular respiration.
Holy shit, that's actually fucking insane for a stand.
There's just like an
That's
instant
so
kill, pretty
good.
much.
Go ahead, produce ATP!
I'll give you a few seconds to get used to the
like-
sensation.
I didn't understand biology enough to make my cells commit respiration. But how am I supposed to package mRNA?
But I'm sure I slit his throat. You fool, I don't know how to bleed. You rifled through the dead man's pockets. Jude pulled out the wallet and sat on JJ's bed. He pulled out a few bills and stuck them in his jean pockets.
Actually, though, if you're smart, though, that you might be able to use that power to your advantage, like making your blood clot or sending more white blood cells.
So
where you
by
need them
making
to
my
go.
blood clot.
Yeah.
You fool, I've already given myself an aneurysm.
Activated my adrenaline rush.
Then stuck his hand into his shirt. Jude pulled out a folded piece of paper, which he unfolded, stared at, and then refolded. JJ cursed himself for forgetting to rob the corpse first. That's not a final boss level stand, Esther said, opening the door and dazzlingly fully clothed. Observation gone, it was good to see her talking again. There's no gravitas. Even I know this, idiots. She had her glasses on, which was good since the bitch tends to Velma Dinkley with her ass up in the air when she couldn't see. Jinkies. What was your diss for
See, this is all fitting with Scrappy Doo.
Yeah, it's like a really good Monster of the Week stand, I guess, but not Big Bad. You find your contacts? JJ shrugged, hopping onto the body. Onto the bed next to Jude. He reeked of weed. If he hadn't seen the bulge, the proximity would have given away. JJ's hands crept up from Jude's knee and then grasped the bag and pipe in his fists. Planning on sharing, Papa Smoke? Jude blushed. He always blushed. Tongue-tied little Catholic schoolboy. Stop calling me that, and yeah, I guess. Can we do it in the car? No.
Papa Smoke is certainly a nickname.
No, she said, no hesitation. She was in pyjamas, comfortable. Her hair was wet. Had a shower gone on while he waited for Jude with this dead body for company? Do it in the bathroom or go outside. Behind the hotel, I'm sure you'll be fine. Actually, please go outside. The fan won't cover up you two giggling all night. The poster she had drawn dominated their vision, right and left inside the doorway, a real cancer of cognition. Which was hell for the performer, of course. Poor guy didn't even get to see what he fell over before his skull cracked and his brain rattled against the cage enough to kill.
You okay?
I'm trying to figure out who's saying this. Is it Jude? Yeah. That's cool, but and Jude coughed. Am I going to be able to see naked people again? What did he mean by this?
The response is even stranger.
Naked women. And no. I mean yes, but not now. Tomorrow. I'll make a little cure for your urge tomorrow. Now let me get to sleep. JJ stuffed his hand into Jude's pocket. Suggestive wink, practice flip, and the bag with the pipe was in his hand. A shillum. One hitter almost. Glass, but longer. It was nice. Clear and greenish. It probably looked blue when it was caked with resin, which, given Jude, it probably would be. Super soon. Ultra soon. Jude stared ahead. After doing nothing like some weird mannequin, he leaned forward, pressed his palm on a dead man's back. His fingers splayed out like tracing the hand to draw a turkey. He took a breath and something flowed, and the body gave way to dust and then nothing, clothes and all. After it was done, there wasn't even enough to vacuum. It's awesome, Jude. How'd you figure out to do that? Yeah, he said. Jude, you stupid piece of shit. Ezra had already gotten into the covers and faced the other direction. Only one direction, I'm sorry. She didn't hear when JJ took the keys, all the while keeping up those suggestive winks. It felt right. He hated that.
No, I'm just dying.
The car was always the safest place. A parked car, in the dark. Who would see them? And the smoke that filled the small dark place, and dissipation ran from his body like a weird orgasm tremor. Was this Providence, or did the weed really smell that good? It didn't matter. He clutched the keys to his chest.
Are you okay, buddy?
I'm sorry, my AI malfunctions.
You took that whole create an aneurysm in your own body seriously.
I've been practicing with my stand. Jude had been nervous, sure. He didn't like the fuck with Esther or her wishes. But if the boy liked anything, it was to be in a small, dark place filled with marijuana smoke.
Nice.
The note was simple. Jude could recite it from memory, which wasn't too impressive since he'd only first read it moments before. Clumsy fingers yanked it from his jeans pocket, folded the same way the performer had kept it in his shirts. Jude showed it to JJ in the dark car, only lit by a purple lighter.
Oi, she said don't go in the car. Shaking my head.
Hey Jude, don't make it bad. Take this sad song and make it better. Smile. Come and see my electric eye.
Okay, hold on. There's a code here. Bad and sad are bolded, and the E's and electric eye are both underlined.
I see. And Bad sad E! It's him!
No, there's got to be something here. What is it?
That's the next time his name is Bad Sadie.
I'm too fucking stupid to put together the secret code.
And
Bad Sadie.
Some directions even. It sounds like a JoJo Stan username, to be honest. Some directions even, all written in blue ballpoint pen. The handwriting was legible, but it was clear the writer was more used to writing in cursive. I'm actually get worried that I'm developing a speech impediment over time.
I think what it is you're reading fast, so you slip up, but then you trip over the fact that you slipped up, and then it makes you worry, which is how speech
that's how I just straight up said the word pen 5 times for no reason.
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop making fun of you when you fuck up in reading, and then hopefully you'll repair yourself before you develop a crippling impediment. The damage you inflicted
upon me can be undone.
So I'm promising you I will no longer make fun of you, although I will kindly, gently remind you how to pronounce things correctly if it comes up.
JJ assumed it had been written by the performer. Jude wasn't sure. The note was perfumed. He had pointed it out between sucking on the bowl, taking greedy gulping hits, multiple, before even passing it, that the performer didn't like to wear scented anything. But the critic did. Oh my god, it's Doug Walker. Jude said the smell made him think of bad things, so JJ said they should cover up the smell with good weed, and they did.
Doug Walker, I smoke the weed so you don't have to.
A bat joint? The afternoon after the binge, and the car still reeked of high-quality marijuana. Jude, despite having taken a shower nearly an hour ago, still had kind of an off, sweaty smell about him. A very male scent. He smelled older than he was, like he was working. Esper was fresh, as always, clean, scrubbed pink. Sure, she would just beyond belief that he had smoked pot in the car, but Jude's discovery got her anger down to baseline levels.
Dude's walking smelling like shit, like, it's my natural musk.
He thought he was going to kill you, said Jude, like the two of you, both. Esper frowned. She almost turned from the wheel. Her favourite thing to do was just stare at Jude until he shriveled.
Damn.
Instead, she looked through the rearview mirror. All the terror of a Midwestern mother driving cross-country to Grandma's for Christmas or something wholesome like that.
Oh my god. Shout out to the Midwest.
Hell yeah. There's still room for forgiveness for them. What do you mean? He knew I was gone. Oh, yeah. Who said... Okay.
This is JJ, you got this. Now you know how I feel in fucking Aetheral Space when you decide to just hide a goddamn character's identity for 5 paragraphs, and you're like, you'll find out.
He knew I was gone. Electric Eye is watching you. There's nothing you can do about it, JJ said. He rubbed his hand against the seatbelt, up and down. The texture, each individual thread hard and stiff to hold, made that feeling run down his spine. Then something about an explosion. I know the song, so I was again trying to figure out who's talking. What I'm saying is, how much does this thing know? How do you think it's watching us? Big television screen, as we said? A bug. There was a crazy cockroach in the last 2 places we stayed. It's a bug power, bug type. I love Esper here because it's like she doesn't quite get Jojo. She's like, it's a bug type stand, right?
Somehow she got to Pokemon though, which is kind of based.
She buys Jude the fucking live, breathe, anime, repeat, or whatever shit.
Yeah! Eat, sleep, anime, repeat.
Jude frowned, splayed in the back. I think he wants to see me to see something. His long, weird body stretched out and almost over, taking up more of the back seat than he thought possible. It'd suck if they had to get nasty back there, he thought. Jude was too big. Not even like dirt ways. There was something ungainly about him. A young Sasquatch. A beardless Santa Claus, but young, galumphing. Who? Said Esper. The critic. He remembers this, so you don't have to. Esper slid her hand to the console and put on her sunglasses. She pulled down the sun visor. Sunlight poured in through the windshield. Another frown. JJ snickered. Too goth for all this. I'm coming, in case you wanted to know, said Esper, staring ahead. Hard to read without sunglasses. You can't tell me I can't know. Weirdo tried to kill me with some pervert Billy Ray Cyrus shit. I did some drawing before you woke up. Great work. Got a migraine, but great work. But you didn't reverse the nudity spell. JJ flipped down his sun visor, sliding the plastic and staring into his reflection. He slid his hand on his forehead, pushing his hair up. No blemishes, no acne. Good, good. Sweats never did good things to his complexion, and he liked to keep pretty. Luckily, he only ever rarely sweats. But even good luck couldn't fix Esper's broken AC or move the sun. I had better ideas, and who knows when your fucking Providence bullshit makes you knock my contacts out my hands and all over the floor. You were invisible, not my fault. Only because you have a weird look whenever you see people naked. It's not my fault. It kind of is. You look too hard. You're a fucked up dude, JJ. Esper smiled. God, do you think the sun is going to fucking move, or is this a stand? JJ waited, but Jude didn't correct her. It was a stand already. The sun. The boy was too quiet. He was high, sure, but not that high.
I was about to say, do you think it's what the
Jude,
fuck was
when
the
he sees
user's
two
name?
identical rocks in the desert.
Wasn't the user's name like Arab Fats or some
Arabia
shit?
Fats.
Arabia Fats. They all just start breaking down laughing in the car. Oh my
You don't always have to be naked. Nobody else has to be naked to put on and take off their makeup and shit. It's a weird move. I think you're the weird one. JJ ran his fingers up and down the seatbelt hard enough to make a noise that zigzagged down from the core of his being. Oh, I know that sound.
Wait, what?
The seatbelt, the nail sound.
Oh, the...
Yeah, you know. This guy knows.
Yeah, we're seatbelt maxers.
As for smirts, turned up the radio. Loud. Bad sound quality, but at least it drowned out most of the horrible sounds the car had started to make. A CD. She'd been playing a lot of The Cure. He wondered if she was trying to think of a stand name for herself.
On. Time out. Does this take place in America? Because if so, playing a lot of The Cure likely means playing Friday, I'm in Love. I'm just gonna say it.
Okay.
That's the only song we listen to by The Cure. Do you know any other The Cure songs, Stan?
I don't know any of The Cure songs.
You're British, exactly! It's just Friday, I'm in Love.
I'm a British.
You're a British. It's the only song anyone knows.
Well, I don't know.
I actually had a moment. So my friend's family, or like not really someone I hang out with anymore, but like I told you I went to like kind of like a posh private school, right?
Yeah, you went with Elon and the rest.
Yeah, and he was like he was this British guy, and he was like very proud of being British for some reason. He was also like a little pretentious, and his whole family was like that. And I went over once, and they were like talking about The Cure, I think, and I was like, "Oh, I like them. I love Friday I'm in Love," and they're like, "Oh, such a throwaway song. That's not real."
What throwaway song?
Meanwhile, by the way, this was like his mom, who's like 40 or 50, and I'm like fucking 16 or whatever. I'm like, I didn't know what to say to that. I was like, okay,
I wouldn't know what to fucking say to that now.
Yeah, right. Like, that's just the kind of people that I think of that moment every single time The Cure comes up. Like, why would you talk that way?
It's like, another throwaway song.
Yeah. It's like, okay, I get it. You listen to
like, filler.
I get it. You know more than their most popular song. You're so deep.
JJ, I almost called JJ just JoJo straight up there.
Yeah, for real.
JJ towed at the CD holder, one of those zipper-up multi-holders. JJ fidgeted, rearranged the screwdriver in his pocket, and leaned against the window. It was still The Cure. JJ liked them, sure, but not as much as Esper. It was a throwaway song, after all. No.
Wait, that's no way that's in there.
He doesn't say that.
Oh, I was about to say.
It wasn't Providence so much as a desire for something different. He would have even taken Shrixie and the Banshees, maybe.
Suey.
That's what I said.
I think.
He drummed his fingers on his thigh. Can I pick the next album? JJ said. He flipped the sun visor to Luke at Jude.
What do you think JJ listens to? I think it's Baby Shark on repeat.
Penis music.
What is penis... Hold on, time out. What is penis music?
Type it on YouTube.
I'm not going to type penis music into my YouTube. I'll tell you what, I'll log into your YouTube.
Oh yeah, I'll send you a link to it.
No, that still taints my recommended folders. What the fuck
Please
is
describe
penis...
the music. Some of the viewer.
Do I have to listen? Okay, let's... Oh, it's that like obnoxious TikTok shit. I got you. Is that a real genre of
insert a short snippet of penis music.
Anomalous, you don't have to listen to him anymore. He's not in charge.
Anomalous, do it. I'm not joking, Anomalous. Do it.
No, Anomalous. I know it's probably really hard for you.
Poorly on you, Anomalous.
I know it's probably frustrating for you because I know the feeling when two management figures tell you to do different things, but don't do it.
Anomalous, do
not put penis music in
here.
We are $9 from getting our first paycheck. We are not copywriting this episode. Get out!
I want solid 10 seconds of penis music.
No.
Do a remix of it if you must.
How do you think Kinch is going to feel if just in the middle of their article you just play fucking penis music? You ever think about that?
Personally, I would be excited.
Heartbeat Shotgun. No, you wouldn't.
No,
if I put penis music
in the middle of fucking would. What are you talking about?
If we're reading 5,000, it's like, oh, Pietro's so sad. It's like...
We should continue on with the paragraph.
Yeah, I forgot where we were.
I didn't. Jude was staring into the air, not reading, not looking at his phone, just breathing, living in the moment. His expression didn't change, he doesn't say that. His eyebrows were raised upward, lips pressed tightly together into a line. His gaze was unfocused. Not out the window, looking at the door handle.
You know what's crazy about reading like good SCP articles is not a single eye is widened in the prose.
Interesting. Wow.
How did they do it? Interesting.
Interesting. Can you reduce...
Not a single hands clasped behind backs.
Anomalous, please, for the remainder of the episode, reduce Darnell's volume by 10%. And again,
not even a single aether flared. It's crazy how they get by.
Interesting. We're almost there. She did look over. And this one isn't over yet. The road went on before them. JJ never paid much attention when Esther drove. He only really paid attention to the direction he was going. North and south didn't mean shit on the dance floor, right?
Exactly! I always say this. When people are like north and south, I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's up, down, left, right. Don't make me do that and eat soggy waffles.
That's not what you meant. He meant he doesn't care where he's going. He doesn't need directions at all. There were trees.
Oh, I can't fathom direction. Never mind. I guess we're not the same.
The directions started to pipe in from the GPS a bit more regularly, so she turned down the sound. The car turned down a gravel road, left, right, left. Too many turns, and then the car stopped in front of a rusted gate. Claustrophobic, lecherous branches reached down and scraped the roof. The engine settled noisily. The wood was quiet. The place was big for one, an old place, crumbling, a palatial mansion, like something out of Forker. The columns crumble, but the windows are intact.
This is the type of place where Damien would appear when they open the car door behind them.
Hello, my shadow self.
The troll me.
They were dark, opaque. JJ wondered if they painted over the glass, but it looked like plastic. Kind of like plastic. Hard.
Oh.
Freddy Krueger lives here. Free story.
I almost put in a drum.
It's not a pun.
It's just funny. I don't know.
Free stories. It probably was beautiful when it was kept up.
Oh, great. He knows it's the short episode, and look at him going off. Listen, Anomalous, now that he's gone, you listen to me, okay? Don't bass boost the coughs. Please remove them because they're really loud and disruptive and gross. If you want to put in the penis music, I can compromise on that, but I'd prefer if you didn't. But definitely the coughs have to go. Also, I just want you to know that
Darnell become the foundation of this country.
Heartbeat shotgun.
It bounces off.
Impossible. What's the counter to heartbeat shotgun? Flatline shield? Tanhoney, I can still hear your background. Are you sure you can come back and attack me when I can defend against you so easily?
Let's continue.
You were going into a weird fortress, I think.
Wasn't it the tremor again? It felt so good to look at it. JJ knew he had to get out of the car. He knew he had to go inside. He wanted to. He lives in dreams, idiot, said Esther. Shut up. And she stopped the car in front of the gate.
Based? Wait, Esther based?
They were quiet for a moment. Jude was the first to sit up, open the door, and step out the car. Just realised S was the Abacchio in this dynamic.
Esther is growing on me rapidly.
Esther and JJ followed. Shut the fuck up, Jude. That's what it's like. You damn. JJ lagged behind as they walked to the large porch and the front door. The house loomed above, and Providence sang within him. Sometimes it listened. Even if it didn't, he would have gone. He watched Jude twist the knob, muscles tensed. Jude was sweating more than usual. Inside was surprisingly cool. It smelled clean, no dust. Jude stepped in, then Esther. JJ stepped through the threshold, and there was a crunch beneath his feet. He lifted up his shoe. Dead bug. Filled with what looked like pus. It probably wasn't pus. Maybe it had been green, but damn, it was huge. JJ dragged his foot across the carpet, staring down at the streak. Shell. Lots of shell, but most of that white liquid. The chandelier hung low above them. Cobwebs formed a living mesh over the great elegant light fixture, like a mummy. Two stairways at the end of the room curved to meet each other at the second floor. There were too many doors. Paintings that were stained beyond recognition hung upon the walls. A mouldy tapestry here and there. A broken vase, but it felt warm. The air hummed around him. No. Sorry.
Hello?
Oh. Esper screamed, sharp, shrill. JJ tilted his head. The entrance slammed shut behind them. There were hundreds of them, maybe thousands. They slid along the walls, out from every crevice, out from behind paintings, from unseen corners, from the broken vase, all the size of $50. Green beetles, leaf green, weed green. And they chittered, chirruped, spherical like robotic. But they weren't, were they? Robots didn't bleed pus. You couldn't see their legs, could barely make out their heads, twitching long antennae. But JJ only smiled. Oh shit, said Jude. Shit. Jitterbug, stay calm. Esther put her hands over her mouth. The flashcards covered in scribbles wouldn't work on bugs, probably, JJ thought.
Wait, flashcards?
She has like a magic flashcard that she'd been using.
I totally forgot about that.
Don't touch them, said Jude. Then, from speakers all around their heads, the brooder spoke. That's what they call me.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
Guy who's never bred in his life.
Can I popcorn to you for a little bit? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. I'm only on my fucking deathbed over here.
Lungs are vital for Amon users.
If I don't read as good, can you please be nice to me? And my throat's fucked up.
I'll voice this Electric Eye character if he talks. I'll take a little bit of the strain off.
The breeder hated having to listen to it. Electric Eye spoke constantly. Its voice was raspy and low. It never stopped. Didn't help much to keep it lubricated either. The thing sucked up anything like it was cacti. He sucked the tip of his right index finger, then his middle finger, then the other two on the other hand. The tips of his digits were wrinkled. They no longer tasted salty. This is straight up a JoJo villain intro. Like the eyes rolling back into the head.
Menacing.
Suck. Yeah, menacing symbols. All wrinkled.
Because
Sigh.
of this beetle, Jude and his friends were able to find us.
Look what you've made me do. I've sucked myself dry from stress. The thing still gave good news, though. He leaned back in his chair. A bug scuttled across his torso and slid around his face, stopping on his glasses. Left lens, its antenna waved in the air, a conductor of a complex symphony. Or maybe it was more like Sempahore?
Mary,
Hold on.
mother of
Give me a
God.
second.
Sorry.
I'm Googling this. How
Can you stop calling me a Sempahore, please?
Hold on. No, hold on. Just tell me
He
how
says
to
no,
do it.
he's going to keep calling me that.
Semaphore. Okay. Or maybe it was more like semaphore. Okay, now what does semaphore mean?
What the fuck? You didn't even look at the definition.
A system of sending messages by holding the arms or two flags or poles in certain positions according to an alphabetic code. Or send a message by signals.
Fascinating.
That's kind of cool. Nice, okay.
Mary, Mother of God, forgive all us sinners, or I mean, tell God for me that I'm really sorry, and I'm sorry in their name, too. Not in an offensive way, I guess. They don't need my help. They're good, and they're so good to me, and stay chill, stay chill.
Electric Eye croaked each word as though it were unfamiliar with the tongue.
Don't want to see and can't help but see and going blind in the face of it. Turn toward God and the pillar of salt, but turn toward the mansion. Don't trip. Too high. Moony. Head in the sky.
So wait, what does Electric Eye look like again?
I don't know.
It was always moving, but he tried his best to ignore that. They were there. Of course, he had known that, since that thing never shut up, but it was great to see the little ones getting so nervous. It scuttled along his body, and the breeder let it. He sucked on his right pinky, then his left.
Too many to be or not, like a walnut. Thanks for the boots. I bought them. Sales clerk with brown hair and bright blue eyes. Cute. JJ, not the bugs. Crunch, still, quiet, whir.
Wait a minute, is Electric Eye just reading out all their thoughts or something?
I don't know, I think...
And it's just like stream of consciousness?
Maybe.
Maybe indeed, I don't know. Its mad dash slowed as it sensed no worry from its father. The bug slid down the breeder's ankle and down through a vent in the floor. The breeder pressed the button and pressed his lips against the microphone. The sensation, up and down, of his lips against the rigid plastic made him want to moan. But he reined himself in, and he spoke to the murderer and his sex fiends. Is this me?
That's you.
Who's talking here? This the baddie? The breeder?
Yeah, the breeder.
Hey, Jude. Fucked up you didn't die. His nose was crushed against the microphone, which probably didn't do much for sound quality.
For Xbox
Like
Live.
real. But it felt too good. I know you're feeling a little nervous down there. Do the babies bother you? You can keep dancing, but I think the fire burns hot. A pause. His finger depressed the button, and he turned to Electric
A
Eye.
pervert, like a muffled stupid son of a bitch. And they creepily creep. JJ, S for. Okay. 2. Okay. Sounds like a siren, screech a cheep. Reap a cheap. Fell down a waterfall? Into gods?
Shut up for a second. Initiate dance commander. The thing snapped back, then forward. It said,
What is your command?
Stand by. And the breeder swiveled in his chair once, twice. His fingers pressed down on the button, and he said, You're an idiot for coming. This isn't an anime. Sometimes you get 2 stands. In Electric Eye, Jude has the dance commander. Button depressed. Dance commander, cancel all movement. So this is like a fucking bites the dust scenario.
Sheer heart attack.
It's like 1 and 2. Yeah, exactly.
Movement cancelled.
Sweet. Button pressed. Jude, you're getting real nervy, aren't you? When you fall down that waterfall and see God, I want you to know that he's gonna send you to hell, and he's gonna make you watch him send those 2 to hell too. A cackle shrill, and then he said, without bothering to depress the button, Dance Commander, fucking fire at will.
Engaged.
Jude wasn't himself, not even close. His jaw was shut, but those eyes danced in fear. Right, left, Esther, then JJ, Esther, then JJ. And after that cackle, the muffled voice said, "Dance, Commander, fucking fire at will." Then Jude lifted his hand. Electricity crackled between his fingers in a fragile webbing. It rose up on the back of his hand, then down his wrist, up his arm until it rose and overtook his chest, spreading to the next arm in a reverse fashion. He held his hand out toward JJ, and a column of blue-white electricity flowed, like water from Jude's right hand. Dust flew in the air. The carpet around Jude crackled with static fuzz, following the lazy back-and-forth movement of his left hand. It rose, and the blue light curled like a snake, then lashed out like a whip toward Esther. JJ smiled. The dancer clung to him, pale. He imagined it was pale. Long limbs intertwined with his. A passionate tango, an ever waltz. A forever ever mambo. A mambo number 5. And the Providence whispered, but mostly it was quiet and smiled and breathed. The oldest thing there ever was, but it loved him, didn't it? It felt like dancing when he dipped down and then fell forward, bringing Esther screaming onto a pile of bugs that burst against your back and his side like little pimples. The bugs that had lived began to crawl over Esther and JJ. Esther screamed, covered her mouth, but then she screamed again before biting down on her hand. The bugs crawled along her skin, stopping occasionally to press down and burn her in a perfect circle, like a nickel. And they continued to do so, rapidly. She shook her hand and stood up before JJ reached up and pulled her down, as electricity whizzed above their heads. "You should probably strip," JJ said. Esther, who had been doing breathing exercises, reached out to JJ, but then stopped short. She sighed and flipped her top over her head. She immediately fell from his view. But most importantly...
she's got the nude equals invisible spell.
Wait, the what?
That's what she was doing before she turned herself invisible.
So when she's naked, she's invisible.
Yeah.
Oh. She immediately fell from his view. But most importantly, both of Jude's hands focused on JJ. 2 bolts, once, twice, and then JJ frolicked, jumping on the banister. Ah, fuck.
Anomalous, I'm begging you need to edit this episode for it. Like,
don't. Yeah, please. Edit them out.
If you decided to listen to me earlier, I'd belay that order.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Jumping on the banister and climbing upwards and sliding through the doorway. The banister fell behind him, crumbled and burnt and scorched by electrical discharge. The rhythm pulsed and beat within him like a second heart. The Providence pressed its mouth against its ear, and it felt almost like a kiss. There were bugs everywhere. They crawled and scampered, but they didn't seem anxious. They ignored JJ. Cooler heads always prevailed, and they fed on fear. They fed on discomfort. They turned the heat up when things got nervous, but JJ had never been nervous in his entire life.
JJ is so fucking
Not for his own life, at least. He is. He's the fucking best. Never for his own. The thing, he's like that friend in your group that's like always chill no matter what happens.
Exactly.
The thing that loved him brought him to the left, then the right, long hallways, little accoutrements. It wasn't exactly homey, but it smelled lived in. Every so often, JJ noted a fast food burger wrapper, always a different place. And then he stopped in front of a door, identical to all the others, but it pulled him toward the wood until the heat and tension threatened to burst out, like a kind of lust or a kind of fire that wanted to take it all in and take it all out. Okay, I swear I have reading comprehension skills, but I have been very sickly. Can I get a quick TLDR on what the fuck he just did?
So JJ, I think he just has like, he's good at the vibes. He's like, it feels like he's probably over here. So he just sort of walked through the house until he found a door.
Oh, okay, I got you. Based. The breeder said, "Progress report."
In progress. One has disappeared and one has escaped.
What?
Disappeared.
The breeder gritted his teeth and stood up. He reached out to Electric Eye, and his long fingers encircled her throat. He throttled its head to the front and to the back. The blindfold momentarily slid down its face, but he pushed it back up. The thing freaked out when it could see. Its face reddened, and it fought against the confines of the straitjacket. The breeder depressed his grip, and he said, "Find them and kill them. If you weren't his daughter, I'd take the life out of you, you piece of shit GPS bitch."
What a unique insult.
As he spoke, the door opened. The bugs skittered, and the breeder's head swung to the noise. In the doorway stood one of them, one of the sex fiends. He grinned, spread across his bearded face. The area around his mouth wet with drool. The breeder looked down at the little sex fiend. He breathed in then out, shallow, broken with laughter. "Mr. Lucky, right?" said the breeder. A bead of sweat fell down his forehead. That's getting me pretty fucking scared, dude. Real fucking terrifying. Giggling, and the bugs converged upon their father as one living thing. So the bugs, like, control movements. That's Dance Commander.
Well, the Dance Commander is a separate thing, I think.
So what does Electric Eye do?
Electric Eye is, I'm pretty sure, the user of Dance Commander.
Right. But it's, like, also a stand.
I think so.
Okay, I'll figure it out later. We'll go over this in detail. I will have Kinch DM me how this works. And then, I swear I have reading comprehension. I'm just ill. Give me a break. I promise. They encircled him, pressing their bodies against his skin. Like a weird armor, they left room for his face as he spoke. And don't worry about your buds. When Electric Eye stops babbling all of Jude's stupid... Okay, so it is leaking Jude's thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Dance Commander, like, controls them. Oh, that's why Jude was hitting him, but JJ dodged on sheer vibes.
Ah.
Oh, I now understand what's going on. And don't worry about your buds. When Electric Eye stops babbling all of Jude's stupid bullshit, it's pretty great at controlling them. Idiot never even questioned why the critic wanted a lock of his hair. Poor, stupid Jude, and that soon-to-be dead fat girl. But that leaves me, and luckily for me, I'm the bomb. Sub-ability! The breeder winked. The air went wavy. As JJ crossed the room, the microphone near the breeder burst into flame. Alright, you have to take over. My lungs are about to give out.
JJ wondered what was with this guy on Electric 6. The heat cranked up and he reached into his pocket. As he drew closer, his skin blistered. The dancer held on, pulling him towards the door, but JJ persisted, strained against it. No, he's disobeying the vibes.
No.
No, hold on. If JJ's really fucking cool, what if JJ fucking dies? No.
If JJ dies, I quit.
The Bruno of this part. He goes like heaven.
No. JJ Ghost. He goes, hey Jude, never stop smoking weed.
The secret of the critic stand.
The wall. Find the video.
Oh god. The dancer held on, pulling him toward the door, but JJ persisted, strained against it. No longer a dancer, but a jealous lover. He calmed it as best he could. He sent it the idea in his head, and it grumbled. It no longer mattered, however. As the heat turned up, JJ slashed out with the screwdriver into the breeder's neck. Immediately, the bugs fell to the ground, some on their back, and they scurried into corners, confused like little dogs. The breeder fell to his knees, blood gurgling from his lips. He looked at JJ, eyes flashing confused and angry. Shh. Your first mistake was thinking I'd ever be afraid. JJ's sunburned lips crackled into a smile. The critic paid me in advance. You can have it all. It hurt. The first bursts of pain he had felt in his memory. Jesus Christ, what kind of life was JJ lives like? This is the first time I felt pain.
Oh dear.
It's been a long time since I saw my own blood. JJ bent down to the man, pressing his forehead against his. The breeder was sweaty, and life was falling from his eyes as his heart betrayed his body and pumped every bit of blood out of his neck and into JJ's shirt.
Oh my god.
Your second mistake was thinking I'd hesitate in killing you. JJ kissed the breeder's forehead, hands on the dying man's temple.
Oh my god, this is like a sexy yandere moment. What the fuck is going on?
It didn't matter if he heard it, but what mattered was saying it, out loud. He's an idiot, but I think I love him. Like a brother. Like Providence loves me. I don't want anyone to hurt him, dead dude. Look at all that blood. You can't hear me at all, can you? The breeder's eyelids fluttered, and in JJ's uncaring arms, he died. He's good, he tries. He hurt a lot of people, but so have I. He's sorry. And I wish I could be that sorry. I wish people could be that sorry.
JJ Psychopath arc?
Hell yeah. He simply got resolved. That was when Esper blinked back into JJ's cognition and said, Dance Commander, disengage. Oh god, you poor girl, what did they do to you? She bent down to the girl whose chair had broken. She was splayed out on the floor, quiet, unmoving, seemingly unfeeling. Esper wrapped the girl in her arms and looked up at JJ. JJ looked down at her. You didn't hear any of that. Sure, said Esper. What do we do with the girl?
Oh, wait a minute. So he was using Electric Eye to control Jude, but also this girl to use her stand, which was Dance Commander.
Electric Eye is the girl.
I'm so confused. I thought Electric Eye was his stand.
No, his stand is the bugs.
What? Okay, I'm lost. Alright, help me, Tam. What did the bugs do again?
The things that are fucking killing everyone. The bugs crawling over the place.
I know, but they didn't, do anything other than, jump
people
on them. They're burning people?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know right
makes
now,
sense.
said JJ, standing up. His clothes were soaked. The bugs trundled mindlessly in circles with their father dead. Downstairs, JJ assumed Jude had passed out. He's going to find something here, and he's going to keep going and find this dude. You're super aware of that, right? Yeah, said JJ. And you're still going to go with him? Till the end of the world? Then I am too. S for side. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say that. S
You
for side.
verkehrst mir die Ohren, I would assume, but I don't fucking know.
S for side, and she stood up with a small girl. Light. She must have been so light. Her hair was blonde and her eyes blue. She couldn't have been more than 14. But she was small for her age. Withered, hungry, and she didn't speak. Her jaw was slack. It's the critic's daughter, said JJ. I heard. Hester bit her lower lip and then said, let's go see if Jude's okay. Then I guess we got to get this girl to a hospital or something.
Wait, was JJ also a part of Aussie?
No, the guy said that before. The briefing said that. And
Yeah,
I guess JJ heard.
Nice.
Maybe then you can reverse the nudity thing? JJ grinned, as much as he could while covered in a dead man's blood. Don't rush me, she said, looking down at the small blonde girl. She brushed her hair across her forehead. God, poor thing. JJ watched Esther rock the girl and she fell into what seemed like an uneasy sleep. As she walked down the wrecked stairs to find Jude, JJ stood up and began to look through the room. Information, clues, anything. Anything to forget the way his heart beats, just a tad out of sync when he had seen Jude first pause. He looked at his arm, a perfect circular burn in her left wrist. Sometimes even the blessed feel nervous, JJ figured.
Oh, so his whole thing is like things just go well for him, but just once they didn't.
Well,
And he was like,
yeah, he was worried that they
impossible.
wouldn't, but they did anyway. But because he was worried, bugs got him a little bit.
damn. Well, first I'd like to apologize for, forgetting things like how the bugs burn. In my defense, I'm very ill, as you could probably tell, unless Anomalous properly edited all the coughs, in which you probably think I'm insane. But I still really like this. I understand what happened for 95% of it. As always, I fucking enjoyed the prose. I love the characters. I really feel like JJ got to stand out a lot in this one, which I like because he's probably my favorite character so far. I don't know, just all around it was fun, and I'm excited for the next one next week, where we finish up the series, right?
Yeah.
And is the series ongoing, or will that be the end?
I'm not sure. I think it's complete.
Nice. Alright, well, do you have any closing remarks you'd like to make?
Not really.
About how smelly you are or something?
I'm not smelly. Fuck you.
You're a little smelly. Come on, tell us what you think of this.
I liked it. It's a good story. It's like it's a fun. I enjoyed getting more Jay's perspective. I enjoy like a supernatural look as a storytelling device. So I like seeing this perspective of it. It was like
I also like I feel like reading these is in itself a vibe you experience. You know what I mean?
Like as usual,
sort of like the trance
stream
with the
of
story.
consciousness style is still great.
Exactly, the stream of consciousness style prose. That's the shit I love, and I try to do myself. But I think Kinch pulls it off way better, probably from their many years of experience writing. It's just so good, and it feels like you get drawn into the story, and you're right there in the characters' heads.
Exactly,
I love it.
I entered the scene with my stand.
For a brief moment, I knew what it was like to be Scrappy-Doo. Alright, and then we have some comments to read, and then I can finally go lie down as long as I don't get more work bullshit.
We said this was going to be a shorter episode. It's pretty much normal length at this point.
We did start, right as, we really hit the ground running in a good way. So you should be proud of that. Can we just call this one JJ's Bizarre Adventure 2?
Sure.
Okay. We don't have too many comments. We can do this. And I'm dying. Tan, save me.
No one can save you now.
Why? My head hurts. My chest hurts.
Little did I now know the misfortune that would strike him on the 7th of May, 2023.
No. Alright. Let's get through these, and then I can rest my weary bones. I'm gonna need you to read the longer ones, just as a heads up in advance. Crowcat says, this was such a great episode. I'd never read this.
You said that like Darvan.
So this is a good excuse
was such
for me to
a great
finally
episode.
do so. And man, is this good. It's also super cool listening to your thoughts on this series, Darnell. Hearing how you relate to certain aspects, and how the prose reminds you of how your mind thinks is really interesting.
JJ's life started going up, while Jude started going down. A few years later, they met up.
Yeah, it's like JJ in a fucking Ferrari. I just trusted divine providence.
Oh yeah, well, I'm between jobs right now.
Oh, I told you to get off that weed, Jude. Come on.
JJ would never say that.
My one question so far, and maybe I'll understand this if we actually read the canon, is if I understand this is a part of something called Gamers Against Weed, which is a name I keep hearing thrown around, but yet they seem pretty for weed.
Yeah, this doesn't
although
make
they
any
also
fucking
aren't gamers.
sense.
Yeah, but
And they haven't gamed once.
yeah, we'll figure it out eventually. I mean, they do fucking. I mean, I was about to say something stupid. Never mind. I was about to say anime is like a game, and then I was like, no, it's not.
You know what the fuck are you talking about?
Because they keep comparing things to JoJo and stuff.
My favorite
It's not a
video
fucking
game, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
My favorite video game. Actually, it's funny because like if you name most anime, it probably has a video game too. Spitz says, I didn't really understand half of that tale, but I love the fact that one of them was titled Bong Rip or some goofy shit. I think a lot of it, like I said, stream of consciousness can make it a little hard to follow, especially with our interruptions, but I think it makes for a really immersive story, and it really resonates with me writing style-wise anyways, which is why I love it. And I really hope, even after we finish this series, we read more Kinch articles, because I am very fond. New fan in me. And then Spit also says, recommendations, SCP-1237, I'm begging at this point. If you want me to stop, I will, but it's funny to recommend into the void.
Recommend it a couple more times and maybe I'll listen.
The viewers turned on us the other day in the chat. There's this long tirade about how the podcast has no direction anymore because we don't read recommendations. So maybe it's time to read some recommendations once we finish.
People who said that sadly have become the foundation for this country.
What is this country? We're in two different countries. I
just like the phrase of it.
This guy watched the coronation yesterday and has become the biggest.
When we turned like all those people into the foundation for this country.
Yeah, each jewel on the crown was a soul taken from the crown.
The
barrier, London, England. All right, you read the JT one because it's a little long.
Me at the DSCP store. I asked the store clerk where the new podcast episode, and they said it's in the basement. I asked where the basement is. This is posted on No Sleep, I imagine. And the guy points to a hole in the floor. That's not the basement. That's the Tanhony dimension. I turn to ask, but I get pushed into the hole, and as I fall, I see that it wasn't a store clerk. It was Tanhony, author of SCP-5000 and Among Us. Anyways, I wandered the basement for a bit and found Anomalous' editing room, and it was kind enough to link me the episode. Jojo's Bizarre Adventure is one of the best series on the wiki. Balancing the wacky idea of a JoJo parody with really cool and compelling characters. 10 out of 10 episode. Hopefully we see Kinch come on the podcast soon. Even if it's not about Jude's Bizarre Adventure, it's always great to hear her talk about Gamers Against Weed in general. Have a good week, guys.
You too, JT. You heard it here first.
JT Izzy Chad voice.
Kinch, please come on the podcast. I'm begging on my knees and crying tears of blood.
It was a roundabout way of asking.
Sobek says, really hope you read the rest of this series. Gaw is a fantastic GOI. Next, Stella says, I love how hard Darnell goes at the reading in this whole podcast, but in here it just made it so much funnier to me. You go, Darnell. You go. See, it's nice to be appreciated. You'll get to live in the new foundation.
You will become the foundation for this country.
You'll get to stand on the foundation rather than become a part of it. Shythalia says, "Aw, I don't agree with this." Shythalia says, "Wow, even as a girl myself, Esther was really annoying. Understandable, though. Esther's grown on me. I like Esther."
Exactly. It's like I said, the Avacchio.
Yeah, exactly. An anomalous writer says, "Very nice, colored manga style. Thumbnail we got here. Don't know much about the JoJo, though. Still a good episode nonetheless."
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what Anomalous said.
Well, that's what Hamiltoe said.
Oh, and then Anomalous went, eyes? Orchid Stream says, what an episode that I totally... Oh, fuck you, Orchid.
Okay, you'll become the foundation of this country.
Yeah, you're going to be buried under the foundation.
That's the implication, yes.
Can you read the Comedy Man one?
Inspired by the bit at the start of the episode, I asked ChatGPT to write my comment on this week's episode for me. Said comments as follows. Hey there, Discovering SCP fans. Comedy Man Kelp here to bring some humor to your day. I just watched the latest episode, and let me tell you, it was a real scream. I always love learning about new SCPs and seeing how the Foundation handles them. Comedy Man Kelp would never say this. But this episode had me laughing out loud more than a few times. Keep up the great work, Discovering SCP team, and thanks for making my day a little bit brighter. I think they really nailed me, personally.
What's the point of doing anything anymore with all these fucking AI? Just let me die in peace. Just let me
Give me
lie on my
something for the
bed.
pain and let me die.
I just want... Exactly, that's
What
what I'm at
SCP
right now.
says. This series was my introduction to gamers against weed, and one of my favourite things on the wiki.
I love how that went from, like, evil villain to, like,
Yoda.
what the fuck voices... Yeah, Yoda.
You are gonna love it, as well as most other things Kinch has written.
TBH.
That's what I said.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Didn't pick up on it.
I translated as like a sort of spitting
Yes.
noise.
I want to read more Kinch stuff. Here's my thoughts, right?
Okay, what's your thoughts?
We have Kinch on, finish this series, then we can do a reader recommendation or several, and then I want to read more Kinch stuff. That's where I'm at mentally.
Nice.
I don't know. I have no other thoughts. I'm sorry, guys. I'm fucking dead. Do you have any closing statements or remarks?
I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I hope that you took some value, some happiness and joy, and I hope it provides some comfort when the tragedy strikes you on the 17th of July 2025
They're not ready.
for the terrible things that will happen that day.
We'll see you next time, gamers.
And I'll see you a lot
Bye.
sooner than that. Bye!
Bye!